So tell me who you are.
John Niebrugge.
John, who are your parents?
Dennis and Mary Beth Niebrugge. We grew up in Green Creek, went to T-Town.
Did you have any brothers and sisters? Please name them.
We had Luke, Sarah, Becky, and Mark in that order.
Did sports play a role in your family?
Oh, 100%. Growing up, that was what we did. It was, I was a little bit older than my brothers, but, my dad was always my coach. I played college ball. My brothers played college basketball. Becky played college intramural basketball. It was just, anything we do is a competition in our family. So, yeah, sports was a huge, huge part of the Niebrugges.
Where did you attend high school and what year did you graduate?
It was 1998 in Teutopolis.
What sports did you play in high school?
Played baseball and basketball, the only thing that they offered back then.
Talk about your high school sports career from your freshman to senior year.
All right, so I played 4 years, started 4 years of varsity baseball. Played as a freshman in the spring. We went to state at 97. We were a pretty good team that year. We played pretty well to get to the state. Played with Kyle Westendorf, Jim Grunlow, Kyle Weber, Mitch Custer was a sophomore, Johnny King was a sophomore, Aaron Geckner was a good player back then, Todd Schmidt in my class. But we played baseball in high school, played basketball. That was my love. I only started 2 years of varsity. We made state my senior year. Played with Josh Esker, Jason Herbeth, Mitch Custer, Steve Meddy. We had a really good team. We made state that 1 year. We also had the dubious record my junior year of breaking Crawford's 20-win season. So nobody thought we were going to do much our senior year, but we ended up going to state.
So as you mentioned, Crawford was your coach, I take it?
Yes.
How about for baseball?
Rob Smith.
Rob Smith, wow.
2 years, so I'll take that back. 2 years with Rod Grimsley, and then 2 years with Coach Smith.
Talk about some of the teams and players that you played against in high school.
Again, played with a lot of good players in baseball. Kyle and Jim both played, Kyle Westendorf and Jim Grunlow both played college baseball. Johnny and Mitch obviously played. Johnny got drafted. Mitch played D1. But played on the rookies team way back in the day, and they were all college baseball players. Just trying to think back. There was a lot of Stu Straw's kids had a lot of really good baseball players back in the day. Kurt Freeze, Ryan Wyckoff, who's a ref now. Sandy had some good ball players. But we had, there was a lot of good talent in baseball. I think that's when the area really exploded back in the day with baseball was late 90s.
What were some of your favorite facilities to play in high school?
In baseball, we played. I loved the old Evergreen Park. Mm-hmm. That was before when they just had the cutouts around the baseball patch. Everything else was grass. I liked it for some reason. I played in Danville Stadium where they shot the movie Babe.
Oh wow!
Back in the day, so it was kind of neat just to play in that. And then we played at Lanphier Park up in Springfield for state, so that was pretty neat just to be in a stadium atmosphere.
How about for basketball?
Basketball, again, I played with Josh Esker. He went to Milliken for 1 year to play. He was 6'8", probably the best post player I played with ever. And then Mitch, all-time leading scorer. Mm-hmm. So played with some really good teams. Jason Herbert was a really good basketball player then. Steve Meddy could have played with me in Blackburn. I tried to get him to play. Like I said, we played, we went to state my senior year. That year we played against Maurice Baker. I don't know if you remember that name, but he's now the coach at Madison, I believe.
Really?
He played at Madison. He played a couple of years at JUCO and then ended up at Oklahoma State, Division I. He's probably the best player I ever played against.
Really?
I remember one time playing against him. It's probably the loudest gym I've ever been in. He passed it from the top of the key. I jumped. Next thing I look over to my side, I see his Jordan shoes right here, and I got dunked on. But he scored 45 that game, and I held him under his average. He was averaging 48 points a game for that month. So, he was absolutely the best player I played against. Played against Sean Jepson at state. Matt Lauer, who is now the Freeburg head coach, 7-footer from South Central. We played them in the super sectional back in '98. fantastic player. He played for McKendree. No, take that back. I think so, yes, McKendree. But he was, 7-footer, only 7-footer I played against. And then Kyle Winning back in high school. He played at Princeton. He was a year younger than me, but he was in the area one of the best players I ever regarded and played against.
Is there any memories you like to add during your high school career?
No, just the fact that, we, made the state in baseball in '97. We played against Addison Driscoll.
Mm-hmm. They were a load.
Yeah, they had 5 D1 players that year. One going to Texas. I think he was hitting literally 600 on the year. It was funny because we were when we were getting ready to play, they literally showed up like 45 minutes before the game. We were like, oh man, we're gonna get a bye. We're gonna get past these guys and then have to play them. But they ended up showing up. We had a chance to win. We had one little costly error and we would have won, but it was fun. And then '98, the basketball season was awesome. The practices, we were deep. I just remember Coach Crawford. I remember in practice one time how good Mitch was. We needed Mitch that year, and Coach Crawford telling me, "Hey, you might want to guard somebody else during practice. We need Mitch to be good." So, me and Mitch had some battles going on, and that goes back to about 5th, 6th grade. But it was fun, And then my senior year, I got second year All Effingham area. I got second place, which I scored probably 4 or 5 points in high school. I wasn't much of an offensive threat, but just the fact that the other coaches, I know Coach Lockhart had a really nice quote in the paper about me getting second. So that was I got second to Matt Lauer, who was obviously really good. But, those are some really nice places, just the places to play. I remember back in the NTC, obviously that place was awesome. Golf gym, felt like everybody was on top of you. We played at EIU for the Charleston Holiday Tournament and then the sectional. That was the biggest place we played until we got to Peoria. So just some of those places were really neat.
Crazy thing about Addison Driscoll is they're not even in school anymore.
They're gone. They were a football power and a baseball power, and they're gone.
Newton played in Addison Driscoll back when my cousin Todd Bierman was a senior in high school.
Really? Yeah.
And that's whenever they got to state and played them, and they were down 35-0 at halftime.
Yeah, they were. And then I think one of the next years they weren't even in school.
Yeah, anymore. It's crazy. It's crazy, yeah. So after high school, where'd you go to college?
Went to Blackburn College. Got recruited by IRSF. But then he ended up leaving before I even got there. But so what really got me to go there was Eric Swingler. Went to Blackburn back in he played for T-Town back in '94 when they were undefeated and made it to state. He was the kind of guy I was in 8th grade and he was kind of who I looked up to. So if it was good enough for him to go, I wanted to go. But my coach became Joe Ramsey, who was at Millikan before that and was at the Oklahoma University before that. So he was a very knowledgeable coach. But yeah, I kind of got there. I got there because of Eric. If Eric, I kind of wanted to follow in his footsteps.
Who recruited you?
So the original coach recruited me, and I committed, and then he left, and then Joe Ramsey. And so he kind of picked up. It was like, oh hey, you still want to play for us.
So there was a big time process going on.
Yeah, but they were, like I said, I wasn't much of a scorer in high school. I was just a big guard that played hard, and Coach Ramsey knew that and was like, all right, you're from T-Town. You're Eric, I saw Eric Swingler play. I want you to come here and keep playing.
So as your college career, talk about your career, including your teammates and your coaches again.
Yeah, it's a school of 450 kids. It's like a high school, so you knew everybody, but it was a work college. So it was a great atmosphere. I got there. They just turned over a big senior class. As a freshman, I started every game for all 4 years at Blackburn. So that's kind of a record that I like to say. It's the only time I received an all-tournament award. I continually got better. I know just some fun facts that I tell like my camp kids. I went to high school, my senior year in high school, I shot 13 3-pointers as a guard. Not a lot. I was more of a mid-range guy. I went to college my first year, I shot 200. So I made myself a good shooter. I shot 50% from free throw line my freshman year in college, and I shot 50% from the three-point line. So I just, it's just neat the progression that I kept getting better. I played with John Tipton from T-Town, John Repking. I kind of recruited them, the guys to come to T-Town. Kind of had a little Coach Ramsey doing a really good job of getting us the Southern Illinois boys. And we had some pretty good years. Just playing in the SLEAC, which is the St. Louis International Athletic Conference. We played some of the smaller schools, but we also played against like Illinois Wesleyan and WashU, who were really good. So it was fun. It was a neat atmosphere. We called it the Beaver Dome. It got rocking. It was smaller than T-Town's gym, but we got it rocking. Wow. It was for college. It was a good atmosphere though.
So, what was your favorite facility to play in college?
In college, I don't know. Illinois Wesleyan. We played there one year, and I mean, it was like a high school atmosphere. Like that's the thing to do, I think, in Bloomington. Is Illinois Wesleyan was kind of the big ticket. They were back in the early 2000s, and just their facility. It's a kind of a bowl shape. All the seats around, so it was pretty neat atmosphere.
So now talking about the coaching part, describe the process. You're the Altamont High School basketball coach. How did you become the coach?
Oh, okay. So you're ready for this, right?
Explain everything you got.
I went 5 years at college. So my last year, I was a student assistant for Coach Ramsey at Blackburn. Then I got hired at Mount Pulaski, up near Springfield. I coached 1 year. Varsity girls coach. They said, if you want this math position, you got to coach girls varsity basketball. But it was fun. I learned a lot. Being 23 years old, coaching girls basketball was kind of on my own. Varsity coach was kind of hard. Then the varsity boys coach asked me to be the JV coach, so I did that for 3 years. Left there to go to the St. Louis area. Just wanted to get to a bigger city, kind of. Coached 1 year at Roxana, fresh soft. Then went to Shelbyville to teach, but I volunteered at T-Town for 1 year under Coach Fehrenbacher. That was Luke Busher and Niebrugge's senior year. That was a pretty good season. And Brock Schaefer, we got to the supers or sectional championship versus Myers Leonard and them.
Yep. He was a load.
Yeah, he was pretty good. We beat him that year. We did beat him. We beat him in the Turkey tournament. And I was the scout guy on that team. So I can say I did a scouting report to beat Myers Leonard. Not that amounted to much. And then I did coach 1 year JV at Shelbyville, and then I got the head basketball coach at Altamont.
How long have you been there?
This is my 8th year.
What do you enjoy so much about the coaching part?
Oh man, the boys, getting in the gym, seeing the progression, keep teaching skills other than basketball. I mean, I know most coaches will probably say that, but I try to make everything a competition. It's just how I was raised and grew up. And to see what comes out of who competes and who is going to do the extra dirty work, it's just a life skill. I love to see. I'm not a. If I don't want to say there's fights, but there's verbal confrontations in practice where we're getting after this kid wants to beat this kid, and we won't back off of it. We want the kids to say, "I'm going to win this time." Yeah. So it's fun and it's neat to see. If it comes to fisticuffs, obviously we'll get in the way, but it's just fun to see the competitiveness, the teaching them, something that is going to carry on. And then just the boys, man, they're the bonds with them. They are. If they didn't play, I wouldn't be here. So it's all on them. They've taken to my style, my coaching style. That gets they've listened. Even the very first year was, they were just eager to learn and to get as much knowledge as possible. But that it's just to see who overcomes adversity. Just to see who can kind of toughen up and get through it. It's just the joy to see that.
Are there any obstacles in coaching?
Well, myself for one. Like, you know, I get so fired up, so passionate that, you know, sometimes it is a hindrance. But you know, you want me to. Some people might want me to say parents, you know, but I've had a great relationship with parents. They understand here. Especially here at Altamont. Like, are there always people that agree or disagree? No, but we have one common goal: is to make Altamont basketballs, you know, as good as it could possibly be. So, you know, other than myself, you know, trying to get myself in the way, coaching has been a joy.
Name some notable teams that you've coached.
Oh man, first year, like I said, they got after it. They were ready to go. The next year, I had the Decatur Herald Player of the Year, Garrett Ziegler.
Oh yeah, he's my age.
Yeah, he was lightning quick. That team, we went 25-4, lost on the last second shot to St. Anthony in the regional championship. You know, that was the first year we won the NTC tournament in a long time here at Altamont. That was the best defensive team I had. You know, I had Justin McGinnis, Cole Borders, Jake Seidel, Aaron Geckner. They were all 6'2", 6'3", and lengthy and worked hard. You know, 14-15, I had probably my most talented team. It had Adam Mayhouse and Ryan Armstrong was a junior, Clayton Wolf, Brandon Hosick. I mean, Evan Cornett, same children. We were tall. We were shooters. You know, we got beat by Patoka in the regional championship as Ryan rolled his ankle in the first quarter, and we were up 8 points at that point. Ended up losing, and Patoka goes on to the super sectional. So, you know, we were good enough to go that far. And then, you know, Ryan's senior year, 15-16, that was my least amount of wins. We only won 18 games. But we lost to the state champions, St. Anthony, 3 times that year by less than a total of 10 points.
Less? Wow.
Total of, all 3. So one was a 1-point game, one was like a 4-point game, the other one was like 3 or 4 points also. So, you know, we were that good. We went to the Effingham T-Town Christmas tournament, got our tails whipped a little bit, went 0-5. So our record wasn't great, but we were a pretty good team that year. And, you know, the last 4 years we won 3 regionals. So those were some of the teams. I'll never forget the team that won the first regional. You know, so there were some good years.
Talk about your assistants.
So I've had like kind of a 2-year curse going on. For the 8 years I've been here, I've only had one person go more than 2 years. Mitchell Martin just went 3, and now he's leaving us. But yeah, I've had Logan Ellington. He was straight out of college, helped me for 2 years. Cole Borders was straight out of high school, helped me for 2 years. Coach Witt, the baseball coach here, he helped me for a couple of years. Just brought some different aspects. You know, basketball's not his thing, but he knew how to coach men. Aaron Locke moved here. He's from here. Helped me for 2 years. Really got the weight training going, and kind of got me in tune more with Altamont. And then this year we got Trenton Cool and Logan Hill. Trenton's from Altamont, played at McKendree. Really good basketball player. Has been a joy this year to help. Logan Hill played for me my first year, so he kind of knew coming in, which has been what, you know, to build a program is kind of nice to have. So he already knew what to say, what to do with the boys. So that's been a pleasure.
So how far did the Indians make it last year? What was the record?
Oh, last year we were 27-5. We had the second most wins all time in the school.
Wow, that's awesome.
You know, we lost to our 5 losses. The winners had a combined 120 wins. So they were Goreville, Woodlawn, A&M, and St. Anthony.
And of course, A&M and Goreville met up in the super sectional.
A&M played St. Anthony at the sectional championship. So we played some really good teams. And Woodlawn lost to Goreville in the sectional championship. So, you know, we lost. Last year was fun. We had Aiden Yarhouse. You know, he's just the string of the guards that I've had there lately. He scored 1,000 points. We've had a 1,000-point score the past 4 years. So it's been fun. Last year was, again, lost really good teams. They were the third regional in 4 years.
Talk about the atmosphere during NTC week.
It's awesome. The semifinal games
That's awesome.
are so fun because there's 4 teams, and to get in, you have to get there early. One team's leaving, the other team wants to stay to see who they play, so the gym's really full. And then Saturday night, is ridiculous. It's probably the
it's like
best
sitting
gym.
room only.
I remember back in the day in '98 when we played, there were 3 rows standing up. So you were 3 rows deep standing. So, and back then you had to purchase a ticket for a seat. It wasn't first come first serve. So it was like you had to get a seat, and then it was general admission. But Saturday nights are so fun. That's your goal every year, is to play in that Saturday night game. That especially our goal here at Altamont. But it's a fun week. It's a busy week. I try to stay away as much as possible. Thank goodness for some video scouting nowadays. But it's just a busy week there at Altamont. But it's the lifeline of the conference.
Those were memories were made.
Oh man.
So talk about some coaches you have coached against.
As a head coach, the funnest one kind of was going up against Coach Kimbrough at Nokomis. The 1-2-2 zone was just different. He had so many variations. You had to counter with his counter. It was kind of fun. We beat him one time in the regional championship. He got us a few times in the regional championship, but it's just different. It's not anything that you see very often around here. So he was fun. Coach Rinker's always fun to play against St. Anthony. We got a pretty good relationship. We compete when we're playing, but off when we're not. We'll text back and forth, and I'll text a lot of Coach Crumwitty, Coach Snow, Coach Doring at South Central. It was kind of fun. Coach Smith, it was fun to coach against because he was my JV coach in high school and my baseball coach. So that was kind of fun to coach against him. He had some nice words to say to me after the sectional championship, so that I kind of looked up to him a little bit too. Coach Witzel at Woodlawn is a Hall of Famer. He's kind of built that program into. Coach Gamber's taken it to the next level, but he was fun. Coach Tripp down at Goreville has been a treat to play against in the summer, and now here this year at the Cesarville tournament.
So I wanted to ask you this. I know this isn't one of the questions, but talk about some of the favorite gyms that you like to coach in besides Altamont.
Yeah, Altamont's the best. I don't know. Trying to think. Cesar was good. It was kind of neat. Some of the smaller ones get pretty loud. St. Elmo it's tight. It's on top of you. You can't really move on the sidelines. So just the smaller ones sometimes can get pretty loud, but just the big games are the funnest. Like they're the best to coach in. Most of our big games, I could be on that Saturday night in Altamont. But St. Anthony, I like St. Anthony. It's big. It's a big venue. It's tough to shoot there, I think, because of the open court. But we usually draw a pretty good crowd there. It's nice to play there.
John, who has helped you along the way as far as talk about your biggest role models?
Yeah, number one is my dad. He was my coach until junior high. Baseball, basketball, the Green Creek Wildcats, 5th, 6th grade, he was the coach. I probably emulate him more than what he wants me to think I do. He got after people. He made you play hard. And that just carried on to Coach Crawford at T-Town. The biggest thing about him was just the prep competition, the practices. You knew if you let up, he'd find somebody else. And that just resonates. It makes you play harder. And he had this motivation, the skill that not many coaches get. T-Town always had the talent, but Coach Crawford brought the most out of kids. And then Coach Ramsey at Blackburn. Him and Crawford are 180s, man. They're like totally different. Crawford was breakdown defensive drills, breakdown, of every little shell drill, defensive drill we could do. At Blackburn, we kind of get into the college, I'd say 75% of the practice was running your half-court offense. Knowing that inside and out, being able to read a screen, knowing your players are supposed to be here and there, and to take what Crawford gave me defensively and to take what Coach Ramsey gave me, I think's really gave me a good foundation of. I don't actually use exactly what Coach Ramsey's given, the same offense, but I do Crawford's defense. I'll never go away from that. That's the aggressive nature in me, but using how Coach Ramsey told me to, how to manipulate a screen here or teach a kid how to go there, has helped me in the offensive end.
Are you in touch with any of your former teammates in high school or college?
Oh yeah, 100%. I see Mitch Kuster all the time. Todd Taylor and I are really good friends. We didn't play a lot together, but we were kind of had the same bonds. In college, lifelong friends, man. We spent Thanksgivings together. We spent Christmases together because basketball's during those seasons. I didn't get to go home for those. So, I got a buddy, Luke Hennings, Ryan Dybert, and Mount Pulaski. They're just guys that I still talk to this day. Ryan Dybert's a coach. Drew Logan at Litchfield's a varsity coach. Came in, played 4 years with Drew. He was from Harrisburg, and he played 4 years at Blackburn with me. We'll always have that bond of, the camaraderie, we getting after each other, but after we walk off the court, we're best friends, and we'll still have that.
At what age did you become interested in sports?
Oh, I can't put a time on it. Probably, Dad tells me my first board was ball, but I don't know. I mean, I just remember playing, I would throw things up against the wall and catch it and field it. It was just second nature. It was always in the house.
Since you played, how has the game of baseball and basketball changed?
Oh man. Basketball, and I'm at fault too. Like I said, I was a mid-range shooter guy, but you don't see that very often anymore. The mid-range is just kind of gone. It's a very effective move, but it's gone. In the NBA, it's either a dunk or a layup or a three. It's not. There's nothing. Watching this '98 finals and stuff, you see Karl Malone shooting 18-footers. You see Jordan shooting 15-footers. You just don't see that much anymore. Even at Altamont, I've gone to the point where we want 23-pointers a game and 20 layups. So we have to try to get a balance there. Now, the all-time leading scorer at Altamont, Ryan Armstrong, probably was the most lethal from 15 feet that I've ever come across. Kid could get to a spot, jump up and shoot it. That's the biggest difference. I think the physicality was still there when I played. And it's kind of gone away a little bit, but we can still get away with some stuff. Referees like your dad let me get away with some of the pulling and shoving and stuff. So it's still a beautiful game.
I wanted to ask you. So you were telling me before you've been watching The Last Dance a lot. What do you think about that?
It's awesome. I mean, it brings me back to being a kid again. The last episodes where Jordan's talking about. That if you're not going to play that way, then they're not going to play that way. And he had to break because he was so emotional about it. I kind of was talking to my assistant coach. I was like, I kind of hope the high school kids take what he's saying. And Jordan, there might be players that had just as much skill as him, but he was do at all costs to win. Yeah. I don't know if some kids nowadays get that. They don't always have to be friends with their buddies on the court. Mm-hmm. They can push them, get after them, but then off the court they can walk off and be friends again. And that's kind of what Jordan says. He goes, it's not a tyranny. I'm going to win, and then when we win, I'm going to celebrate with you. It's not just going to be me. It's going to be we're going to win together. So, and then man, you see Jordan's mom when he got cut from the sophomore varsity team, and she said, "Well, get better." And that's kind of a life lesson right there. Just get better. Don't complain. It's not going to get you anywhere. Get better. So it's brought me back to high school. My wife knows it's 8:00 on a Sunday. I'm sitting down on the couch watching it. So that's the 2 hours that I get by myself.
The last two episodes are next Sunday.
Oh yeah, I can't wait.
What advice would you give to today's younger generation about playing sports?
Play everything. Play everything. Play baseball, play basketball, play golf, play track, whatever you play. All three sports, all 3 seasons. So if you can play something in the fall, play basketball. Don't specialize. Learn how to compete. Learn how to do things that are out of your comfort zone that maybe you think you couldn't do it, but compete so hard that you can. Because just competing past your threshold, past what you can. Just make everything competition. Learn to compete. I think that's a lifelong. Life's a competition. Who wants the best job? Who wants the prettiest girl? Like you got it. It's competition.
So we mentioned your biggest role model. So what has sports done to change your life and coaching too?
It's given me a new perspective. I have changed as a coach in the 8 years. Here at Altamont, sports and coaching in general has just been a lifelong evolution of, okay, do everything to win. Now take a step back, especially coaching. How do I get this kid to learn and play harder than this kid? Maybe this kid wants an arm around the shoulder. Maybe this kid wants me in his ear. So, just the evolution of learning. My daughters, I got 2 young daughters. This one, I got to say it once. This one, I have to say it 3 times. So, having the boys, having the girls, my girls, teaches me how to communicate with different people along the journey. So, even with my wife, she's been a godsend throughout this whole process in coaching. I couldn't do it without her. She, in the winter, it's all her. I'll come home and I got to go scout. She's had dinner. She'll have dinner. She don't get home until 5:15 either. It literally is about a 30-minute walking by. Say, hey, I got to go this way. But without her, without that constant communication between us, her taking care of the girls, and during summer it's me. So while she goes to work, I got the girls all days. But it's without her, without my girls, without the boys. We call my boys. I say them my boys, my family. They are my boys. I mean, I'm in a house full of girls right now. Got one on the way. I don't know if it's a girl or a boy. It's probably a girl. God's blessing me with girls, but the boys are my basketball family too. So, they know that they're welcome here anytime but it's just extending life, and friends, like you said, the college kids, I got lifelong friends and my high school buddies, we still talk. And now, I'm seeing the kids I coach out and about. So it's and starting families, which seems weird because I'm getting older, but just that thing is what sports and coaching has been all about.
With everything going on right now, I'm sure you see everybody a lot more now too.
Yeah. We communicate more a little bit through internet than what we did, not face to face, but we still kept in touch quite a bit.
John, in conclusion, is there anything else you would like to share about anything?
No, not really. Just I love Altamont here. I love it. It's a great community. We're gonna win. I got some good classes coming up, but and I really appreciate what you're doing with all the local sports, getting people. It's good to see some of the guys that, like Mitch Arnold and Mitch Custer and Danny Winkler. Just seeing those guys. This area's been blessed with a lot of good sports. I think it's blown up in the last 20, 25 years, but even before that, there was a lot of good sports too.
John, I appreciate the comment. I appreciate you talking with me, and I really enjoyed hearing your story.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Tyler.
Thank you, John.